Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews. Today's review, well, we're going to delve into AC/DC electrical testing equipment. I'm going to share my thoughts on what type of equipment you should get. And I first started off with this Fluke AC clamp meter many years ago when I first started onto the solar. And I tried to use the mathematical formula from Ohm's law. And well, it didn't work out too good because there's a huge difference between the tags you see on any type of appliance to the actual conversion from AC to DC when you're trying to figure out how much an amperage draw you're going to end up at the end pulling out of your power inverter, how big of a battery bank you need, how many watts of solar do you need. Well, AC doesn't cut it because Ohm's law just doesn't quite work so good when it comes to solar. And the tags on the back of an appliance, and I'm going to share my thoughts on one appliance that I recently reviewed and how Ohm's law just doesn't work. So let's go over to the bench. Let's take a look at some stuff. Well, let's start off at this end of the bench first. And I'm going to show you two different types of loads. This is a 120 volt angle grinder. And if you take a look at the angle grinder itself there, you can see some specs, 6 amps at 120 volts. And, you know, it's wrong. But you get to something like this, an induction load of, say, like your toaster or this heat gun. Yeah, the specs are right. So what's wrong with these specs? Well, I'll tell you something. They don't give you enough information. They are correct, kind of. But when you're thinking about using a power inverter to change from having these cables hooked up to a battery bank and having AC voltage come out here and AC current coming out to power whatever you want, well, there's a huge difference in the reality of the tags. We'll get into that in a second. Okay, so this is my favorite meter right here, and it only goes up to 100 amps on AC or DC, and this is my favorite right here, and I like this one. Now, I first started off with this one here, and it only went up to 80 amps. It's AC or DC, and it works fine. Well, they're kind of on the tight side. And that's not too bad for a lot of situations, but a lot of times you want to be able to just turn your clamp a bit. Like on this one here, I could put it in here. See if I get around 1. Yeah, put it around here, and then you can actually just rock it a little bit back and forth. Gives you a little more room, right? It's not so tight. But both do work great, and they have the same use. Now this one here is only for AC, goes up to 400 amp, but I mean, when am I ever going to check 400 amps, right? On DC, yeah, the amperage gets up there, and you know, a lot of times what I do is take, for instance, this is a splitter, so you just put your clamp around one side here, and you plug it into your AC receptacle, and you can take a current reading. Or you can do like the same thing here. What I've done is I just made my own plug up, and this is strictly for AC, and then I can put this in here and take a reading. So if you're going to get a meter, you better get one with a big fuse, and the fuses don't come big enough when you're testing DC circuits, especially for power inverters. So settle in on one of these. They don't have to be really expensive, but get you something at least that has at least 100 amps, and because this here is mainly just for voltage and amps, maybe up to 15. I have done electrical testing on this. I'll put my playlist down below of my electrical testing, and you'll see how the tags on a lot of appliances don't quite match. They are logical, but they don't quite match when you're trying to figure out your load, your capacity to your batteries, and your solar bank itself, how big do you have to get, right? So I just thought I'd show you this right here. Now this is off of one of my tags on my review I did on a fridge, which is my newest fridge. And the only thing it said on the back was 115 volts, 1.1 amp AC. That was it. That's all you got out of it. So now, what it didn't tell you when I did the testing is it starts up at 12 amps. So I mean, nowhere in this sheet did they mention that it starts up at 12 amps. Well, of course, it's a compressor, right? And it starts up at a higher load. So that's, you know, 120 volts times 12 amps AC is 1,440 watts. I mean, 1,440 watts. So think about that. You know, that's 1,800 watts is a 15 amp breaker. So now we'll get down to this one here. So we got the 115 volts on the tag. On the back of the fridge is 1.1 amps. So I multiply the volts times the amps AC, and you're going to get 126.5 watts. Now, there's a reason behind all this. So, on my inverter, the idle current on my inverter is around, so all I got like here is an LED voltage indicator gauge. I got a 5-bank USB charger, and the inverter itself is a 4,000 watt inverter, and on idle it draws 1.67 amps DC. Now there's absolutely no difference between AC and DC when it comes to amperage, but when you change the voltage, well, yeah, it makes a huge difference. So the fridge, the testing that I've done, this fridge runs a total, including the idle current, of 7 amps DC. Now, when you're thinking about, well, 7 amps, well, it starts at around 12, and if you were to do the math and use Ohm's law, you would have a reading of around just over 10 amps that just the fridge should be running at. And that's the problem with just trying to use Ohm's law, because as a fridge settles in over a 24-hour period, the startup current is the same every time, the 12 amps, but I tell you what, the running current is not. So the running current on this is about 5 amps. So if you're considering getting into solar and you want to know how you size everything, well, you start off with each one of your loads, and I like to go on the back of the power inverter itself. Just put this around the positive cable, take a reading, and then you know for sure what you're dealing with, because if not, if you try to use just strictly Ohm's law off the back of the tags that you see on most appliances, you're going to be thrown way off. Because if you used Ohm's law using today's figures, yeah, you'd be way over 10 amps. When the reality is you're closer to 5. And that makes a huge difference when you're thinking about how to size something. So I mean, and remember, like when you're talking about amps, and take for instance that fridge that runs at 5 amps, that's 5 amps in an hour, every hour. So if the fridge only runs a half an hour out of an hour, well, guess what? That's only 2.5 amps, right? So you have to consider all these things. So I've learned a lot over the years, slowly, a bit at a time, gathering different testing equipment, so I can actually know the exact load that I'm drawing from the power inverter itself. And starting off there works the best, because when I first decided to get this new fridge freezer combination, the old one just had like a small little freezer inside the whole fridge compartment. There wasn't like a separate one. Well, that was a total fail. I mean, that fridge was very efficient and everything, but it took forever to get cold, and there was a lot of problems with it. The freezer didn't work worth a damn. You couldn't even freeze ice cubes in there. So I mean, yeah, the new one is working out great. It's very efficient, and it runs about maybe 1/3 out of an hour. So that's not bad at all. I have no problem running the fridge and everything else. My lights, I have a, you know, I can operate everything. I can pump some water, no problem, everything. And that's off a 4 6-volt like golf cart battery bank. So I got 4 of them batteries. I've got a total of 600 watts in solar, and so that gives me around 25 to 30 dependable amps if the sun is beating down on the panels. But on a cloudy day, what do you get? Generally, from the panels, the way I have mine set up, maybe 4 amps, 4 to 5 amps on a cloudy day, which actually runs everything. Because when you think about it, I'm only drawing maybe 2.5 to maybe 3, maybe the outside 4 amps, in an hour. Well, it just about evens out. It might draw a little bit, but it pretty much evens out. On a cloudy day, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I can still run that fridge. And when you're thinking about sizing things up, you have to actually do the testing, and a clamp meter is the best to figure everything out. And if I didn't do any testing, I would never know that fridge draws like double the amperage as my old one. My old one was around 7 amps when it started up. This one here is 12 amps starting up. So I mean, that's like, it's over 100 amps DC. So I mean, that is a huge difference, but it only goes on for maybe a couple of seconds tops, and then it drops right down. So them kind of specs you won't see on any appliances, what the startup current is. Same as on any electric drill or anything like that. They put down, a fixed rating, and like I said, you can take a look at the playlist down below in the description box and take a look at some of the electrical testing I've done, and you'll see the tags just don't quite match up. And if you're thinking about just converting everything using Ohm's law between AC and DC, well, remember, amps are consistent. They're the same. They're fixed. AC or DC doesn't matter. But when you change the voltage, it makes a huge difference. So you got to compare apples with apples. You just can't try and, say that something at a certain amperage AC is going to be the same as at DC, because it's not. So thanks for joining me here today. I hope you picked up something from this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And if I got the answer, I'll give you the answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'll just say, I don't know. So thanks for joining me here today. Come back again. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe and see some more interesting things that I do every week just like this. Cheers.